A lot of people counted us out, but we are back and we are better than ever.
Take me through the roller coaster of we're renewed, we're not renewed, we don't have a home, now we have a home. When did you find out and what were kind of your first thoughts about that?
We were in the middle of our final episode and then we got word pretty quickly from Lionsgate that they were still very excited and there were new streamers that were very excited and that it was a financial decision made by a corporation that, as we've seen what HBO has been doing, they're making business decisions. And so the numbers didn't add up for them. So great. And once we knew that we had 3 streamers bidding on us, we all felt just fine.
That's good. That is so not the typical story in these situations, right? Usually it's like, it was weeks.
Well, the emotional story, which is way more fun, is we all cried and wanted to keep working together. But the reality is when you're dealing with a streamer that's just about numbers,
yeah,
and the numbers don't work, but we found out through our studio that our numbers work.
Yeah.
So we were just going to be someplace else. When we found out that the new place was excited to have us, we want to keep making this show. And we love that we have an audience that really cares. So if anything, it felt really good that there was a backlash. If there was no backlash from people, that would have been so sad.
It was an opportunity for us to kind of get an early response from the people, from the fans and the people who watched it, and just kind of thought, well, great, people clearly are hungry to see more.
I mean, what a nightmare it would have been if the response was like,
good.
Well played, HBO Max. Good thinking. We've been waiting for this.
Forget those guys.
I actually didn't think about that.
Yes. Or the response could have been nothing.
Indifference.
It could have been us going out there being like, let's beat the drum, and the audience going like, thanks.
No, dudes, our readers went insane. So at least on that,
it means a lot to us. It's really nice.
An iconic editor needs an iconic publisher.
Can I speak with you for a sec?
Season 2, when we come into Ophelia, Joyce isn't in not a bad place. A lot of people want a piece of her. A lot of publishers want to publish Minx. And in the very first episode, we see she's dragging her heels on signing with some of them.
Tell me you made a decision. Baker's hours are killing me. There should only be 1 3 o'clock.
I'm sorry, but this is very hard. Everyone's just so nice and agreeable.
And
I am not used to the world saying yes to me, are you?
I'm guessing you get a lot more yeses, Joyce.
Talk to me a little bit about that hesitance, about maybe how she's thinking about being the boss and being in charge, and whether there's any roadblock there for her.
I don't think it's that the reticence in her thinking she's being the boss. It's just that she instinctively, there's something about each of these publishers. She's not finding an affinity with any of them. She recognizes that they're huge. It's Condé Nast. These are the people that she went to originally in the pilot episode of the first season that kind of dismissed her and didn't get it. And now these people are champing at the bit to get her. But nevertheless, there's something that's holding her back, because I think she's just not hearing the responses. And then when Doug comes and suggests Constance, she's just like, oh my God, of course. And she recognizes, why didn't I think of that? He looks at the business side of it. She's kind of comes from the academic side. He comes from the business side, and he identifies the right publisher for it. The hesitancy is not, I don't want to be in charge. It's just, I don't want to be working with the wrong person who doesn't get the ideology behind the magazine.
Vulgar and patriotic.
Yum.
I'm so intrigued by Constance in the beginning, especially. Like, how was the character pitched to you before you signed on?
Very briefly, because the minute Alan Rappaport called me, I was like, I'm in. Because I was such a huge fan of season 1. I didn't really care what the part was. But then she pitched me the Constance Papadopoulos. I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. And I get it. She's this billionaire who really has nothing else going on in her life, probably for the first time in her life. She has a really sketchy background, comes from shipping magnate money, who decides to enter into this proposition with this ragtag group of people. And I thought that juxtaposition is just so interesting.
Is there anything else? Are we?
No, I think that's it. Should we have sex now?
Shelly seems really scared of Bambi and everything she represents kind of at the beginning of the season.
Totally.
Right? Talk to me a little bit about how she might handle that, bringing viewers into the season who haven't seen what's going to come.
I think at the end of season 1, Shelly and Bambi had a tryst, which opened Shelly up to some maybe new ideas about what she might desire than she previously believed. But she recommits to her husband. And so her idea is just to stay as far away from Bambi as possible because Bambi is the reason. You know what I mean? In her mind, it must be Bambi. It has nothing to do with her. It's all her fault.
Yes.
So she's avoiding at all costs being there, but also that means that she doesn't get the thrill of working at this magazine, which has also come to be quite fulfilling for her. I think there's a push and pull. And then I think it's also terrifying in general to think that what I desire and want and think that I might be at the core of my humanity is also something that could destroy my life, keep me from my children, end my marriage. So I think she's doing all that she can to keep that part functioning and happy so that, you know, it all doesn't all come falling down around her.
Bambi has, you know, on the other hand, she's done a lot and seen a lot and been around a lot, but it seems to me like she's missing a connection. She's missing like a true someone who loves her and sees her for her. First of all, tell me if you think that's accurate. And then second, talk to me about how she may be looking for that this season.
And I couldn't have said that better myself. I think that Bambi has lived hard, I will say, and she is just seeking a family. And she found that like a true love, I would say, with Lennon's character. And then when she's sort of heartbroken, she loves Shelly so much that she wants to set her free so that she realizes, you know, your family is very important to you and that it's important for you to like keep up with the Joneses and not unleash this. But she's heartbroken. So then she's trying to pour herself into work and possibly get into business. Then she realizes that business is mean. And then I think at the end, she wants a family.
I'm sorry, Joyce, but I'm broke. And I have to take a second job.
Isn't this your second job?
No, because alguien no me paga.
Both of your characters have these crazy arcs this season. When I was taking my notes, I wrote like, you can only feel unappreciated for so long. And then boom, right? Maybe Oscar, if you want to start then, because you're on it. Like, talk to me about that. Like, we've seen both of them be underappreciated and keep things running and keep things going against all odds.
That's Rolling Stone. You really need to read my memos, Bambi.
Oh, I don't read memos on principle.
Is there a tipping point, and do you get close to it? It's for both of you this season.
We do. I mean,
we do.
That's our connective force together.
In this season, especially, yeah.
We are underappreciated, undervalued. That was our norm. I mean, let's be real. We're talking about being people of color. Do you know what I mean? Working in a predominantly white industry, and we are accustomed to people taking advantage of us. And we thought that was the norm. And in season 2, we suddenly realized, wait a second, we don't have to live this way. And then we're acknowledging that we have talents that surpass a lot of our coworkers.
Right.
So there is a beautiful moment that we share where we acknowledge like, okay, yes, we are underappreciated.
Right.
And I don't think people see us for who we are and what our potential is.
Right. And I wonder actually now in this very moment, I'm realizing maybe that is the fact that we had that connected moment to actually say that out loud and voice that to each other gives us each that sort of push to go out and actually fight for what we think we deserve. Because I feel like each of us right after that went out and did something, took an action that was sort of, you know, irrevocable in terms of where it was going to take us. It was like, I am now taking an action towards my destiny.
And I think also to add on to that, we have dedicated so much of our work to the company, to Minx, and we see everybody else not doing the same and not putting as much work into the company. And we're like, wait, can't we get a slice of the pie too?
Right.
Like, what's in it for us?
Right.
You know?
Right.